In this video, we're going to cover section 12.1, which is on the nervous system, and more specifically, it'll be a very brief overview of nervous tissue. So the nervous system, it coordinates and regulates the functioning of the body's other systems. And the nervous system, it consists of two major systems that work together. So we have the central nervous system, which is comprised of the brain and the spinal cord. And then we have the peripheral nervous system, and these are nerves that carry sensory messages to the central nervous system, and we also have nerves that carry motor commands from the central nervous system to the muscles and glands. So here is a section of the central nervous system, or more specifically, a section of the spinal cord here. And it's showing the connections that it makes with some of the peripheral nerves. And you see some of the other types of peripheral nerves that we have. So we have the sensory neurons, and these carry messages from sensory receptors to the central nervous system. Then we have motor neurons, which carry impulses from the central nervous system to the skeletal muscle, and then we have other motor neurons which transmit impulses to either smooth muscle or cardiac muscle or to other glands. So the nervous system, it contains two types of cells. First, we have the neurons that actually transmit the nerve impulses between parts of the nervous system. And then we have neuroglia as well. Now, these are cells that provide a supportive and a nourishing kind of role for the neurons. However, they are absolutely essential for the proper functioning of the nervous system, however. So they maintain homeostasis, again, that catch-all term, and they form, some of them, they form myelin that surrounds neurons, and they aid in signal transmission. And we'll look at that a little bit more detail later. So here, again, we have the types of neurons and the neuron structure. So there's really three classes of neurons. We have the sensory neurons. So these take messages to the central nervous system. So they actually have sensory receptors that detect changes in the environment, and they transmit that information to the central nervous system. We do have interneurons, and they receive input from sensory neurons and other interneurons in the central nervous system. So these are kind of like the in-between sort of cells that aid in the transmission of information and impulses. And then we have the motor neurons. So these take messages away from the central nervous system to some kind of an effector, whether that's um, skeletal muscle, whether it's cardiac muscle, or smooth muscle, for example, of the central or of the digestive system, or glands, perhaps. So the effectors, they carry out responses to environmental changes. So neurons, they do vary in appearance, but by and large they have three parts. So they have a cell body. So this contains the nucleus and the other organelles. Similar to any other cell in the body, they require pretty much all of the different organelles that we've talked about before in terms of what cells actually need in order to function. Then we have the dendrites. Now these are the extensions that lead toward the cell body and receive signals from other neurons, and then they send these signals into the cell body. And then we have the axon, and the axon, it conducts nerve impulses away from the cell body toward other neurons or effectors. The myelin sheath. Some axons are covered by a protective myelin sheath, And in the peripheral nervous system, a myelin sheath is formed by what's called the Schwann cell. And this is actually a separate cell. It's not an actual nerve cell. It's a separate cell, again, that provides kind of a supportive role to the peripheral nerves. And what it does is it 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 provides a sheath around the axon of the nerve cell. So this the Schwann cell then is a type of a neuroglia, and it contains myelin in the plasma membrane. So the Schwann cells, they wrap around an axon and they lay down many layers of the plasma membrane. So each Schwann cell, it myelinates only part of an axon, and so therefore it leaves gaps along the axon, which are called the nodes of Ranvier. So you can have many Schwann cells then that provide the myelin sheath along the axon, and then where these gaps are, those are what are referred to as the nodes of Ranvier. So the myelin in the peripheral nervous system, the myelin sheath, it plays a very important role in nerve generation in the peripheral nervous system. And if an axon is severed, the myelin sheath remains and serves as a passageway for new axon fiber growth. So the peripheral nerves, they can repair themselves, um, provided um, provided there's not too much damage done to them. Sometimes they can completely recover. Other times you might have some residual nerve damage, but the peripheral nerves, they can recover from being severed. So the myelin in the central nervous system, the myelin is produced by a different cell, which is referred to as the oligodendrocyte. And so this is another type of a neuroglial cell. Nerve regeneration does not occur to any significant degree in the central nervous system, however. The central nervous system then is composed of two types of nervous tissue. One is the gray matter, and this contains most of the neurons with short, non-myelinated axons. So this is the gray matter that's found in the surface layer of the brain and the central part of the spinal cord. The white matter, this contains myelinated axons that run together in bundles, which are referred to as tracts. And these are found deep within the gray matter of the brain and surrounds the gray matter in the spinal cord. So that's a brief overview of the tissue in the central nervous system, and we will continue to look at other aspects of the nervous system.